Welcome to the Jeff and Alan Show, broadcasting to you on the Junior Factor Nation Radio Network. Now, here are your hosts, Jeff Hamill and Alan Kling.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jeff Hamill, broadcasting behind enemy lines in the Whisper booth room thing at Penn State Harrisburg campus behind enemy lines next to liberals. It's a scary place. But to help me get through this, I am here with
Alan Kling, coming to you from the overpass as I watch some pretty cars. You get some red ones, some green ones, some yellow ones, some blue ones, as they join the bus on this mission to find sanity in this world we live in today. And this is episode number 6, Genetically Sharp Death.
If you'd like to contact us at any time during the show, you can do so on, of course, the Junior Factor Nation Spreaker chat box. You can talk to us on there. We had over 75 people listening last week, which is amazing. Thank you so much for coming out and listening. But I only knew of 4 of you, because, or actually 3, because only 3 of us were actually talking and communicating. So if you want to talk to us at any time during the show, please do so on the Spreaker chat box if you're listening to us live. If not, you can talk to us on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/The Junior Factor. You can go to juniorfactornation.com and jfncommunity.freeforms.net.
Tweet us!
Or you can tweet us. Thank you. Mine is at the JP and Alan's is at PizzaMan721. So, Alan, did you like our brand new introduction?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I like it a lot, and I'd like to thank Kyle Winter from the Kyle Winter Show for helping us out. If you'd like any audio production professionalism, you can contact him on Facebook at facebook.com/The Kyle Winter Show. Or if you go on the Junior Factor Nation website, Kyle Winter, and talk to him on there. Or you can tweet him. I think it's at the Blowfish Nation, I believe is his Twitter. I follow him, so that's good. But if you'd like to get anything from him in terms of audio production, definitely contact him. He did a great job, and I love his voice. I'm going to say it. I love his voice. So we're going to get to the first story of the day, which revolves around knives and schools. Alan, have you ever took a knife to school?
Not knowingly.
Not knowingly. Well, neither did Mr. David Darren Sander, or we're just going to call him David because his last name is weird. Well, not weird, it's confusing.
Davy Boy Sander.
David something. Let's call him David, okay? According to Yahoo News, a senior at Northeast High School in Tennessee was suspended for 10 days and faces multiple of additional punishments for bringing a knife that belonged to his father in his father's vehicle. And those other punishments may include criminal charges. Here's a breakdown of the issue, and then me and Alan will give our opinions on it. The student's father is a commercial fisherman who works on the West Coast. His father left a fishing knife in the car. David knew nothing about it and took the car to school. During this incident on last Thursday, the school called over the intercom that they were going to have random lockdown searches, and David had nothing to hide. He said, "I'm sure there's no problem. I have nothing to hide." And then they found a knife longer than 3 inches, which is, I'm trying to find it, I think it's considered a weapon at his school. He will not be allowed to return to school after a 10-day period. Instead, he must attend an alternative school full of alternative students for the next 90 days after the suspension ends. On top of all of his punishment, he faces weapon charges thanks to the sheriff department, which concludes that the knife was effectively in the boy's possession. His grandmother said she tried to tell the school officials that her grandson did not know of the fishing knife. However, the tough vice principal had nothing to do with it. Guilty until proven innocent, is what Darren said. I think that's his grandmother. It's of their zero tolerance policy. He did not deserve what he got. It makes me sad. It breaks my heart. Things are happening to kids like this, said the CBS station, local station. I want to get the name right. WTVF. Alan, is this a good call, bad call? What do you think?
This is dumb. This was not even in his possession physically. It's one thing if it was in the guy's pockets or it injured himself. At a nightclub a la Plaxico Burress a few years back, former receiver of the New York Giants, popped himself in the leg when the dummy had a gun in his pocket in a nightclub in New York. This guy, it was not with him at all. He was at school. It was random. He was not even using his own vehicle. It was the vehicle that belonged to his father. That was his dad's vehicle. That was not his. So for all it could really matter, he could be 30 years old, his dad could be 60, and he could be borrowing his dad's vehicle to go somewhere, not knowing what's in there, and that knife could be in there. So he's not a kid. And he's borrowing someone else's vehicle, but since that's what he drove that day, he's getting charged with this? This is stupid. It wasn't even his vehicle, and say it was his vehicle. What does it matter? It was not an illegal weapon. He had the right license and qualifications to be able to legally have that in his vehicle. So what's the big deal?
I'm pretty sure Vice
If
President
he wasn't
Biden
trying to hurt anyone, and he had a good reason. He knows how to use this stuff. If I'm correct, they do fishing competitions and recreational fishing to catch fish, not to hurt people. This is an example of good guy gets screwed because some knucklehead did something dumb and created a rule, and it screws over people trying to do good stuff.
Now, Alan, I think that our vice president is going to say something like, we need to not only get rid of all the assault weapons, we also need to get rid of all the 3-inch fishing knives because they can puncture someone while they're in a car in the parking lot of a school. It wasn't on him, ladies and gentlemen. And, by the way, he even told them, hey, there might be chewing tobacco. I don't do it. My dad does. It's not my car.
And he was being honest.
He was being honest. Do you think he would lie about that?
For being honest.
Do you think he'd lie? Oh, I didn't know about a knife. No, he would probably have he told the truth about the tobacco, which, according to schools, should be a bigger charge than a freaking fishing knife.
Yeah, because both of them, if you do it to yourself, if you stab yourself with a fishing knife, you could potentially kill yourself. If you chew tobacco long enough, you can get mouth cancer. So potentially, not necessarily in every case, but statistically in an extreme long-term extreme state, he could die either way. Not saying someone that uses that product will die or will get sick. Nothing could happen to them, and they might just like the taste of that product. Or someone might just happen to...
This isn't the issue that we're debating right now.
It's decision accidentally with the knife.
I don't think, Alan,
possibilities.
I don't think that the issue is, should he have the right? I think it's, did the school make an awful decision? And we're going to vote on this right now. Did the school make an awful decision on if he should have gotten in trouble? And on top of it, did the police need to come in and say, hey, you might actually go to jail for a little while or may have to pay a fine for this incident? Yes or no? Did they should have either put enough charges on him that they did?
School stepped into a game that they should not be playing in. This was a dumb rule. This call should get reversed. This was stupid.
I agree. Yeah, I have nothing else to say. I think that the kid knew nothing. I think that the school just had to have an excuse to say, hey, we're going to uh, get you in trouble for no reason. And I think that the school shouldn't do that, and I think that they should pay for it. Okay, next story, because we have 10 minutes left, and I have 2 more stories to get to. There is a graphic video, and it will be on the forums, so I'm telling you, it is graphic if you have a queasy stomach. It really didn't look too bad to me, but if you have a queasy stomach and you can't take graphicness at all, or any type of graphic viewer discretion is advised. A raw video of the arrest was released after a man died in Moore, Moore, Oklahoma police custody. So I'll give the breakdown for this story. I did watch it. It's about 5.5 minutes, 5 3/4 minutes long, and I did watch the whole thing. And again, there's no like blood. There's nothing crazy on it.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
But what happened last week, or after weeks of accusations, the public now getting a chance to see a video that was taken the night of a local man in Oklahoma, that he died in police custody. Nair Rodriguez and Luis Rodriguez said that her husband, Luis, was beaten by the police. On Tuesday, her attorney, I think this is last Tuesday, her attorneys all released the video, allowing everyone to decide for themselves what happened. Nair was calling for her husband to be okay. I think it doesn't really say very well in this story, but what happened was they have a 19-year-old daughter who was lying to them. So she hit her daughter. I don't have a problem with that. I came to the school of, hey, you're going to mess up. We're going to hit you a little bit. It's fine. I don't think anybody should call the police. But since she was 19, I believe the daughter called the police on her parents and said, hey, there's abuse.
Wow.
Yeah, there's what was it called? When, let's say 2 parents are fighting.
Domestic abuse.
Exactly. A domestic abuse is happening.
Domestic incident.
So, for some reason, the video turns on and the husband is already handcuffed. And they tell him, hey, please stop resisting. I watched the video. He was not resisting. They were, okay, I'm going to get a little ranty just now.
Ready to go.
5 police officers arresting the man who was on the ground. His hands were behind his back, handcuffed, and they every single one of them had a knee, some pressure point on his body. They're continuously to say, stop resisting, sir, stop resisting. Anybody with eyes could see in the video that he was not resisting worth anything. He was laying on the ground with his hands behind his back, not resisting, and they're like, stop resisting, stop resisting. I call honky dory on that. Later on in the video, they sit him up. And she's crying. His wife is crying and is like, is he okay? And she's trying to talk to him. He isn't saying a thing. His head is down. And they're supporting Luis with his back on their knees. So she's saying, Luis, are you okay? No response. Not a word. Later on in the video, she flips crap and says, he's dead. You killed him. Yada, 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 yada. They claim that he was breathing, but he obviously was not. I've never seen someone in such pain or death that they can't respond at all. And she was yelling at him, Luis, are you okay? Nothing. Not a thing. These police officers, 5 of them with personal training, with a profession behind them, with all of these things, nothing. Nothing but abuse and probably the murder of this man. And I got to tell you, if you're a cop and you're listening to me, I have a few friends that are cops. I love the police. I love everyone.
Thank you for everything you guys do. Exactly.
You're going out, you're putting yourself in harm's way. But is there really a need? Is it a necessity for you to go out 5-1 and completely not obliterate the dude, but you practically did. You almost killed the man. They say that he died in the hospital. He said Luis committed no crime, was not armed, had no gun, no knife, no weapon of any kind, but he was the only person to lose his life that night. He had nothing on him. He literally did nothing wrong. And the police are there and they're saying, oh, no, he was resisting arrest. So you're going to put 5 guys on one for for resisting arrest. How small are these cops? Not at all. 2 of them could have arrested Luis. 1 of them could have arrested Luis because he didn't do anything. And it frustrates the crap out of me because police get this power. They turn into a militia and they're saying, we will arrest you for smoking marijuana. We will arrest you for doing these petty crimes. And they're overflowing our prison system. Alan, I don't know what your opinion is on prisons, but here's mine. And I want you to tell yours. I think that prison should be government run. Now, I never, ever, ever, ever say that government should run anything. But I think that the prison system should be run by the government. The reason is because there should be no private corporation with a monetary mindset at the prison. What we have now is we have people going in for marijuana and other small petty crimes. I'm not saying that people with marijuana on them illegally should not get punishment, but maybe not jail time, maybe fine. But these people get put in the jail system for petty crimes, and the reason is for monetary gain. Alan, government, private, what do you think?
Well, first, this is back to the police brutality. This is something just like the other day when I was at my friend's house. We were watching Law and Order, and something just like this happened on that TV show. And it is scary where they take something fictional and it's made in front of my eyes reality the very next day. That is a scary thought. And it's also scary when you have someone right next to each other with a dumb stolen candy bar crime versus a sex offender or a murder crime right near each other in the same floor, same cell, that jail. Hopefully not many jails are doing that.
Sorry, I was cooling myself off. This room is hot. But yeah, I think that it's kind of scary how much militia power these people have, and it's kind of scary to me. So do you think, and I want you guys to answer in the forums, it's not our poll of the day, but you can answer it on our forums, jfncommunity.freeform.net, and you can tweet us. But do you think that the prison system, do you think it should be private or government run? I think it should be government run because there will be no monetary reason behind their motives. Alan?
I think it should be government run, but it should also be very transparent so we know what's going on, who's going in, who's going out, what's going on. We should have the power to know what's going on in the system so we know if a crazy guy got out, if a crazy guy's going in.
Right.
What's going on inside? What's going on outside? Why someone's going in? Why someone got out? How much bail? Why did this person get so much bail? They need to know that we know, and we need to know the reason behind their reasoning and what's really going on instead of, oh, this guy got released for $2,500 bail and he killed a couple guys.
Yeah,
we need to know the reasoning behind every little thing.
The government should be as transparent on this jailing system as Obama said he would be. Now, we only have a minute and a half left, and I have one more story we need to talk about before the break. There is a story from Bloomberg.com. We are, in America, we're debating on one dad and another dad, or one mom and another mom. But what about one dad and 2 moms for genetic gain? Alan, there are people out there, according to Elizabeth Lopato, something like that. Elizabeth from Bloomberg.com, and she's pretty much saying there's new technology aimed for from genetic disease in newborns would combine the DNA of 3 people instead of 2 to create a child, potentially redrawing ethnic lines and designer babies. Alan, do you think that they should have designer babies? Yay or nay?
I find this creepy. What makes you think that you and your wife or you and your husband are not good enough? Why do you feel like you need to subsidize that with someone else? Why do you feel like you need to organically or non-organically, non-naturally, how it's been, how God made you, and how everything else has been? what if you were created non-naturally and there was something wrong with you? Would you want the same thing to happen for your child? I feel like there's a big potential for a lot of birth defects and just flat out not good things.
I think this will lead to a lot more bad than good.
Does not sound natural, does not sound right. God makes this kid, but do you want to tamper with that? Make something to make the next quarterback to win Super Bowl, to make the next extremely beautiful girl to win a beauty pageant, to make the next person to discover cancer, or not discover cancer,
find cure.
Cure to cancer, yes. Cure to common cold. It would be great to have someone make such a scientific feat, but if at the same time they can't see, or they don't have a hand, or something's wrong with them, would you want to have them have, like, for example, their intelligence impact their physicality or their physical athleticism,
so
impact
Alan,
their mental capability? There's so many variables towards this that seem to extremely impact what would naturally be there for that child. I feel like there's so many potential problems, and it just seems scary. And it also seems creepy that you want to genetically modify your baby. It just doesn't seem natural at all.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy and it's kind of weird. As of right now, I would disagree with it because it's so unknown of what might happen. But we are about 2 minutes over time, so we will be right back after this quick commercial timeout.
Jeff?
Yes.
Sorry, I made an appointment for a checkup for myself at the doctor's office.
Oh, you're covered? You have health insurance?
Yeah, I do.
Well, good thing. Well, good thing for right now. But I'm pretty sure in the future, pretty soon, you're going to have to change because Obamacare.
I'm sticking with mine.
You might not be able to, though.
No, I have government from or healthcare from the government for my dad's job.
Oh, that's right. For those of you who don't know, his dad is in the Postal Service. So you might not, but I probably will.
Obama's crazy if I'm changing that. I'm
probably going to have to change because my dad works for a private company and they're evil from the devil. So, Alan, do you think that healthcare is a right or a privilege?
I don't think it's either. I think it's a choice.
But you don't think it's a privilege?
I don't think it's a privilege. I think you should, if you want healthcare, get healthcare. If you don't want to pay for it, why should you have to pay for it?
But what I'm saying by privilege, what I mean by privilege is kind of the same thing you're saying. It's not a right. It's if you have it and if you want it, you can get it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Well, according to Congressman John Dingleberry, Democrat from Michigan, this dude, this again will be on the Junior Factor Nation forum page. He looks probably 150, 180, somewhere around. Realistically, he probably looks like he's in his 90s or 80s. He was a child.
I was a child at one time too, just like the rest of the world. Yes, Mr. Congressman person, you were a child. Please enlighten us on your childness.
I thought he was a child of Franklin Roosevelt, but he met FDR when he was 8 years old about Social Security, and I'm pretty sure this guy has just been drinking the FDR juice for way too long, and this old man says that, hey, healthcare is a right by a citizen, and this guy cannot be any more incorrect. I think when it comes to the Constitution, it doesn't say all men were created equal and all should have health insurance.
Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, not right of hospital care. Yes, it would be great, but it doesn't really work out that way. You got life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. If having a healthcare plan is part of your pursuit of happiness. But you don't have to if you don't want to.
And I think that goes for the entire Obamacare Act. If your act of happiness, if the way you get to happiness is being healthy, go for it. Get health insurance, get whatever you need. But let's say my version is not to be the most healthy person, but to be the person with the most life in me. Maybe not in years form, but in terms of what I do. Maybe I don't have time, or maybe I don't have the money to pay for health insurance.
Maybe I want to spend all my money to go bowling and not on healthcare. I should do
Or
that.
to give it to charity, or go to roller coaster amusement parks, or go across the nation and visit the anything.
Go watch the Eagles break your heart every year.
Whatever, yeah, no kidding. But whatever your heart desires is what you should have the right to pursue, not the right to get. And I don't think healthcare is a right. I think it's a privilege. I think it is a choice for you to make. But he says that, and his father was a congressman. So this whole thing is crazy with the
Career
New Deal.
politician version 2.
Exactly. And it's so
And
bad.
he probably got all of his views from his daddy.
And
not
Roosevelt.
From his brain.
And Roosevelt with the Economic Bill of Rights, which is, I don't know much about it, but I'm pretty sure since it's from FDR, it's bullcrap. And we're going to get to economics a bit in the next segment. But this guy is just so wrong. It bothers the crap out of me. I don't go up to people and say, hey, you need to have health insurance. I don't go up to people and say, hey, you need to own a gun. Hey, you need to go to a church. Hey, you need this. You need to get an education. You do that. Alan, this is usually your part where you add in random crap. But it's not a person's right to have health insurance. It's their right to have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
In the Lancaster County, you got Comcast, Dish Network, and DirecTV. Comcast is trying to create a giant monopolization on the TV industry, and they just bought Time Warner Cable. So that creates a large part of the South. They have Time Warner Cable, for example, in Carolinas, the Georgia's area. I know up in the Green Bay, the Minnesota area, one of the ESPN is up there. There's a lot of the country has Time Warner Cable, and in the eastern area and in the western area, a lot of the metropolitan area, a lot of the big metropolitan areas of the country have Comcast. So, if you don't want Comcast, you don't want Time Warner, your alternatives are Dish and DirecTV. But if you choose to have Dish Network or DirecTV, you can't watch Comcast Sportsnet Philadelphia. And they had the same problem with one of the Houston sports networks also. And it's the same with a lot of other startup as well as regional programming. Mid-Atlantic Sports Network, home of the Washington Nationals and Baltimore Orioles, also had this problem getting on satellite companies as well. So, for example, if someone moves out of their parents' house or just moves,
I don't think I'm following along with your system of thinking.
They can either choose to pay for Comcast and get those regional sports networks and other local, for example, in Pennsylvania, there is a local, I'm not even sure what it's called, there is a localized, just in specific school districts and specific counties network. Jeff, I think you know what I'm talking about.
Nope.
It's like PCV or
Dude,
something.
I don't even know where you're going with this subject.
But basically, there's different things that Comcast and Time Warner have. I'm including Time Warner because Comcast just acquired Time Warner. There's different amenities that Comcast has, but there's also different amenities that Dish and DirecTV have. But someone is only allowed to choose Comcast, there is no choice. They also have Dish Network and DirecTV and other parts There's also Blue Ridge Cable in the Lehigh Valley area of
I don't
Pennsylvania.
understand
There's
what.
also Verizon 5s. There should not be one choice. Like, for example, if Obamacare is the centralized universal health care, that takes away choice, like it is for some people if they feel like they have to watch a certain TV network. That means to them they have to have that TV provider, but they should be able to choose between more than one TV provider, just like if you want Highmark, if you want Capital
But
Blue
here's
Cross,
Alan.
Blue
You don't
Cross Blue
understand
Shield.
though.
They
You don't
should get
understand. Young people
healthcare.
pretend like they don't get sick, like they don't get hurt, like they don't get an injury. And it's up to these older people to vote for us, to tell us that, yes, you need this. Yes, you need that. You need insurance. You need to be on Obamacare if you can't afford anything. Oh, wait, you can afford health insurance because you've worked for a living and you're not living off of the government. I told this one guy that I work with, super quick story. Told him that my mom got a new job. She hated her job, left it, went to a new place. And because she went to this new place, she had about a month off, and she never lived with the government. She never did any of that before. So when she went over, she didn't live off the government then. We had enough money from my dad to work and from all the money she saved from working. And I told the guy, I said, "Hey, Tom, my mom got a job, blah, 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 blah." And he goes, "Wait a second. Your mother did not live off of the government forever?" And I said, "She never did." This is where I get my conservative roots. My parents were 18 and 19 when they had my sister. They both worked 2 or 3 part-time jobs, and my dad went to school full-time. And you know what they didn't do? They didn't go up to Uncle Sam and say, "We need money. It's our right to get that money from the taxpayer." No, my parents, they tied up their boots, they pulled up their pants, and they were acting like adults because you know what? They had to act like adults or they would not have made it through. And that kind of makes it a really good transition to America. The youth of America is looking leftward for elections. And the reason, and it ticks me off all the time, according to Reuters, America is now same-sex marriage, legalization of pot, and normalization of relations with Cuba, which I'm kind of for that, kind of. Not really, kind of. But me and Alan, Jason, Kyle, Derek even. Derek is more of a Democrat, but Derek, Mike, and Lyda, and Sam, and Stephanie, and I'm missing someone, and I know I am. How can I forget? Who else is on the nation? This looks...
That one guy over there that Jeff's trying to find. The lights flickering on and off. Can't quite see him.
You guys are probably telling me down below in the chat, but we are all Republicans or conservatives. I think I said Jason's name. I think I did. But we're all Republicans and conservatives, and here is why. We don't want the government to say, "Hey, you need to do this, you need to do that, you can live off of us," because we believe in personal responsibility and making something of yourself in this world. And I think the problem with a lot of people that are our age, maybe younger, maybe a little bit older, is they don't want to live a hard life. I love Sam's Next Gen Conservative radio ad because he says it's not for the weak-hearted. It's not for the people who want an easy lifestyle. And I love when he says that because it's so true. We don't want an easy, or we don't want a tough lifestyle. We want an easy lifestyle where, hey, you want government funding? Here you go. You want this? Here you go. Because it's so much easier. But ladies and gentlemen, it's 2014. It's the midterms for a lot of people. I think our local representatives and most representatives are up, if not all, are up for re-election. Vote the Democrats out. Vote not Republicans in. Vote conservatives in. If you're going to vote Republicans, like Ann Coulter says, we're just going to be screwed up because we're going to have Republicans that are more Democratic than they are conservative, and we're not going to get anywhere.
You can't label someone by a party. You label them by their platform, what they believe in, and what their actual consistent track record is.
And we need to vote for people
who
are stern in what they believe, not party given. I don't care if you're a Democrat if you vote conservative. I don't care if you're a Republican if you vote liberal. We're going to vote you out because of what we believe, not because of what your party believes, but the conservative or the Republican that votes Democrat, you're getting the heck out. There are so many people that I can think of, I can't think of their names, but I can think of policies that certain people have put in place and they're like, I'm a Republican. But then you look at what they've done in the past and they're like, no, you're not. You're nothing like a Republican
Hey, Jeff,
at all.
you're forgetting one more thing.
What's that?
They need to actually read the bill before they say yes or no.
But they can't because it's
Listen to
so
Ron Paul,
hard.
people, let the man have a voice into your ear. He retired, but think and listen to the man. Do your job, and while you do your job, instead of having your secretary over there read your paper, actually read it yourself. I don't care if you're listening to music while you do it, watch the ball game,
But it's
play
too difficult.
PS4, play Xbox, look into the set. Consume yourself into what you're trying to do, or you won't have a job next election. Or maybe you'll have someone like Glenn Jacobs, a.k.a. Kane, retire from wrestling and take your job, because that guy is pretty intelligent.
But it's too difficult and takes up too much time for their busy lifestyle of, I don't know, going on multi-million-dollar vacations while you're looking at as you're looking at the country saying, you guys, you don't need all that income. It's inequality. While the Obama family is going on multi-million-dollar taxpayer.
I'd like that kind of vacation. That'd be pretty nice.
Me too.
I would so do that.
I would go in a heartbeat. Hey, do you want to go to Hawaii for a week and a half?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go, baby. But we are out of time,
We'll
and we
bowl out in the middle of Hawaii.
We have one more segment to go, and we're going to talk economics and some things that are really irritating me, and I think Alan as well. So we're going to get back in just a moment. But until then, you can contact us and do all that.
And tweet us!
And tweet us. We'll be right back. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Jeff and Alan Show. My name is Jeff Hamill, and I'm here with Alan Kling, and we have our last segment of episode number 6 to do, and we're going to talk about something I wanted to talk about for a while. So our third segment is usually our philosophy, our thought process segment, and this segment we're going to talk about minimum wage and economics. Dun-dun-dun-dun, bum, bum, bum.
Word life.
I think I should be a singer. Just go for it. Now,
After I get my deal, you're getting your deal.
exactly, because we both suck at singing. So, think
I was
progressive.
thinking of work the other day, though, and I was told I should go on The Voice.
Well, you shouldn't. Thinkprogressive.org. That's so mean. I'm sorry, Alan.
Word life.
Thinkprogressive.org, which if you are just listening to this show, kind of, if you hear thinkprogressive.org, you're probably thinking definitely a Democratic website. At least that's what I think. But they're trying to make this sound okay. They want Walmart to increase minimum wage to $10.10 an hour. And they are saying it will only bring up some products by a couple of cents. For instance, a DVD will only go up about a cent or a little bit more. Some other products will only go up a couple of cents. Now, yes, I was just reading really quickly. It means that an extra penny for a $16 product. They're trying to say that we could increase minimum wage so way beyond what it is right now, and it won't affect big companies like Walmart and all those different stores.
Toys R Us, BJ's, Costco, Kmart, Walmart,
Right.
Sam's Club, Sears, Penny's, Kids R Us, Taco Bell, Burger King, McDonald's, and all them places.
Yeah, they're trying to say, hey, this isn't going to affect anything, when really, it really is. I don't know how to say it any cleaner, any better. It's going to affect prices.
But you know, Jeff, in reality, the cost of living has gone up substantially, and they're talking about 1 penny of stuff going up. I remember when milk was 50 cents for a carton of milk. No, but since we live in Myers County, Turkey Hill here, theirs was Turkey Hill pouches. There was like a little bag of milk.
I remember those. We had those in
50
school.
cents for that pouch of a bag of milk.
Right.
You know what it is now? It's almost $2 for that same bag of milk.
And they're trying to say
they still didn't have minimum wage go up. So yeah, penny ain't nothing. Penny ain't nothing at all. I remember less than 10 years ago, it was 50 cents for milk in elementary school. Now I gotta spend almost $2 for less than what I got 10 years ago for over double the price. That is pathetic. That is stupid.
And they're
Why should I
math.
pay that much?
Hold on, Alan.
It's worse than how
Alan, hold
gas
on.
went up.
Alan, listen. Their facts are so wrong. I have a friend from Canada, and they get paid almost $11 an hour.
I'll take that.
But they're taxed so much. They usually come down over the summer, and they usually go to like Vermont, New Hampshire type of an area. I don't think they've ever come below New York, so they've never visited me.
Meanies.
But their dad and their mom went out to a bar one night, and they're like, "Hey, you and Lucas, his brother, here's $20. You guys can go get whatever you want." They go out to a convenience store, and they get like 50 things. And they're like, "This stuff is so cheap down here." And I said, "That's our sales taxes aren't 30%, which theirs isn't either. But ours is 6% here in PA. It's like crazy elsewhere. But we're not taxed a lot, and our minimum wage is lesser. Yay. Now, a lot of people think, hey, if we just me and Alan, we have a friend who thinks, well, if we just make $11 minimum wage, that's a livable wage. Do you notice?
No, it ain't. No, it ain't.
Oh, wait. The point of minimum wage is not a low wage. Do you know why it's called minimum wage?
So you can work up from that.
Because that's the least the government can give you, or your company can give you.
The least
government,
as required by the government.
And the reason is so that we don't have slaves, or so we don't have children working for pennies or whatever. It's a minimum wage. It's not a livable wage. How don't they get these facts correct? How are they thinking, oh, we need a livable wage to be $10 an hour? Okay, I agree that livable wage should be $10, $11, $12, $13 an hour. You know what shouldn't be $10, $11, $12, $13 an hour? Minimum wage.
But at the same time, cost of living has been going up so substantially. If that's the best job that person qualifies for, and they got to feed their face plus a couple kids at home, and they got to have, say, their wife needs to stay home because little Jimmy, little Susie are so little that mommy needs to be with the kids, so daddy needs to work. And if he's only making $7 an hour, he ain't going to be able to feed his face, and he's not going to be able to feed his 2 kids and his wife at all. They need to jack that rate. I
highly disagree, and I think the first thing that we need to do is educate. I'm not preaching abstinence. I'm preaching education. I think the biggest problem we have is the fact that over 50% of children that are born out of wedlock, out of unsupportive families. And I think that we need to educate people and say, hey, you see stuff on TV, you see stuff on the internet. That's not how it is in real life. Stop pretending. Stop trying to be the perfect family when it really, in fact, all you're going to do is serve yourself, your family, because you're not going to be able to.
I'm not talking about a 20-year-old or an 18-year-old. I'm talking about, say, for example, it's someone in their 30s or 40s that has.
But if they're not making
kids and they get laid off from their job that were making $20-some an hour, they're having a great, wonderful life.
They need to save money. It's responsibility, personal responsibility.
But then they couldn't find a job, and now they finally found a job, and they're working at a grocery store or a fast food restaurant because that's the best job they could find. But you're going from $20 an hour after you spent all your savings over, say, a year. It takes them a year to find a job because that's how bad the job market could be.
I highly doubt that they can't find another job. I know you're playing devil's advocate. I highly doubt that they can't find another job. My mom found a job within a month, and people say there's no jobs out there. There's no jobs out there. It's because they're giving up too quickly. I understand if a mother needs some time off, or maybe she's going to be a stay-at-home dad, or stay-at-home mom. Sorry, and the dad goes out and works. But it's not an excuse for minimum wage and a livable wage to closer to the same thing. Or
what about someone that's trying to pay for college? And say for example,
they shouldn't be in college if they can't afford it. If you don't have a way of getting out of it,
about education.
But
So
no.
say the
College is
federal does not just say with their results that the government is going to give them any money for a loan or a
college is
grant.
not for everybody.
So, but you said about education.
You
So
do
if they
need
want to have
education,
education, how are they going to pay for it if they can't afford it with their job?
but they
If they're
need
making minimum
hold on,
wage
hold on. They
or just
need
minimum wage, how are they going to pay for it?
they need to do is not go to school as soon as they graduate high school. They
But
can
that's
work.
what
Wait, wait,
society
wait, wait, wait. They can work. Can
supposed
work
to
a
do.
minimum wage job, maybe 2 jobs, maybe 3. Again, you have to look. You might not like your job. I personally am not too fond of my job. I know you don't love your job. You don't care for it, but you don't hate it. If you love your job or you hate it, you know what? You strap up your boots, you pull up your pants, you put on your jacket, and you go to work. You don't complain, you don't cry about it, you just do it. And you do it because you have to. It's not fun, it's not exciting. School. It's expensive as crap. You don't have to go to Penn State, which is $7,000 a semester. You can go to Hack. You can go to Millersville. You can go to any other school in this area.
But it's hard enough to even pay for a community college on minimum wage. If say
But
you
minimum wage is
are
not
living,
supposed to pay for it. Minimum wage is the smallest amount they can give you, and you're supposed to be able to work up from minimum wage.
but what if you don't want to have a loan? And what if you want to be able to graduate in the 4 years to get a 4-year degree? It's nearly impossible to do that with minimum wage unless you're working your eyeballs off 60 hours, which you're so much asleep. If you're working at a register, you're going to fall asleep on a bag of potatoes.
60 hours a week isn't too much.
That's a lot. When I worked just under time, I was falling asleep in class. The teachers knew that I was about dead.
That's why there's such things as part-time students. I know you want to get your degree in 4 years, but
and then you can't have your education as fast to get a better job.
But the thing is, it's not the government's responsibility to give you a living wage because you want to. And I understand what you're trying to say. Education is such a demanding thing for us to have. I think,
and it's hard to find a good job if you don't have.
I think that. By the way, we have 3 minutes, but I think that there is so much focus on college that to graduate college is like graduating high school. I understand and I agree with that 110%. But it is not the government to say you need to have $10 minimum wage so that people can afford these things. Because I can guarantee that if you take a few years off, you work your butt off on 2 or 3 part-time jobs, you don't get a girlfriend, you don't get a boyfriend, you don't pay for the most expensive car, you don't go on welfare, you don't do these things, you live with your parents, you do these things. You have to just make it. We can't be living in this country saying someone's going to give us something, the government's going to give us something, because we are alive and it is our right. I'm sick and tired of talking to people here at this campus, and they're saying, "Oh, I don't need to go to school. I just need to go to school right now. I don't need to worry about money." I have a person I know, I don't have any disrespect for him, but he's taking less classes than I am, and his GPA plummeted. Why is that? Because he's living on campus. He has a whole bunch of drinking friends. He pays for alcohol. He pays for cigarettes. He does all these things. And then I'm standing here saying, I'm going to school full time with 17 credits a semester.
Wow, I'm only taking 15.
So yeah, 17. I'm working a part-time job around 20 hours a week. I'm doing all these things, and you know what I'm not doing? I'm not going out partying. I'm not going out drinking. I'm not going out doing these things. I understand if someone is just living, working, and going to school, if they might need a little bit of help, I'm fine with that. But I'm so sick and tired of people saying, you know what? I want to have fun. I don't want to work, and I want everyone else to pay for me.
And that ain't going to get you nowhere in life.
I am sick and tired of listening to people here, other places, say that kind of thing. And if they're going to bring up the minimum wage, they're going to bring up laziness. I guarantee it. I'm saying it right now. If they bring up the minimum wage to $10.10 an hour, they are going to bring up laziness because you think that $10 an hour is going to help you right now. Next thing we know is $20 an hour. $20 an hour.
I would love for minimum wages to go up. I'm sick and tired
of being
too,
but
stuck
it's not
at the same rate. I would love. Cost of living has skyrocketed. I would love for it to be compensated with my pay rate.
But
I
I
would
don't think
love that.
it's economically impossible right now.
I feel like it's long overdue.
I disagree, but that is all the time we have. That is our big question of the week. Big question of the week. Should minimum wage be increased to $10 an hour? Yes or no? Please tell us why. Who do you agree with? Me or Alan? I can't believe we actually split in an argument. That's unique. That never happened before. It's going to be a good show. Thank you all so much for listening. And if you could, please share this show around. If we're trying to get on iHeartRadio, and tweet us at the JHP and at PizzaMan721. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Jeff Hamill, and I am with
Alan Kling.
And we will see you next week.
USA.